What's going on, YouTubeites? Welcome to the weekly Cover Price Shakers of the Week. This week we got 4 esteemed panelists. I'm going to read off these wonderful lists that we got from our friends from the CovrPrice.com. And you know what we're going to do while you guys are congregating? You know what this show is absolutely going to slap. Just like this fucking song.
Slap now.
I'm here at Barry Island Beach, and there's no sign to stop.
Right. I don't know what I
That actually
watched,
goes
that
on
was
for
very
3 minutes long, man.
I thought I was watching that for 3 seconds. That was mesmerizing. Mesmerizing.
That is crazy.
I'm a huge fan of synth pop from the 80s,
Oh, man,
like
that's
New
a great
Order
song.
and all the Depeche Mode, all those bands, man. But that is one of my favorite memes from I think it was 6-7 years ago. Obviously, it was
you got a lot of
Monday.
time on your hands.
People think it's real. It's actually from a Monty Python film that they took that from, or show, yeah. So it was a small scene where they throw the fish at her, and then people just took off and went buck wild. But that Blue Monday mix is absolutely
That's fantastic.
I can watch that and I'll play it again. It goes on for 3 minutes. It's almost the whole damn song, and thank God that New Order didn't take us down. So shout out to everybody in the live chat. I got enough time for shout you suckers out. Shout out to Paul in the 619. Shout out to 619 San Diego in the house. I think that's San Diego area code. I'm pretty sure it is. Sith Lord holding it down with a wrench. Newbie Comics. T. Rabbis. Doc J. Uncanny Swag. West Comics. Newbie Comics. Efren. Uncle Frank in the house. Michael Benson. Johnny Boy. T. I already said you, man. I have a horrible memory. I have a short-term memory. Craig 69. Will Shoe. Goes on and on. Charm City Comics. Wookie Fodder 80. What's going on? We normally see Wookie Fodder in our auction. Speaking of which, shameless plug. Tomorrow, guys, boys and girls, 6 p.m. Live auction and claim sale starting at 6 p.m. going to, who knows, 5 a.m.
What's the over-under on Star Wars lots?
17.
Yeah.
17. Shout out to Press with Defects. Meow Meow Big Lion Cat. Uncanny Swag. Dust Rush Die Hard. VM Campos and Jeff Schultz. There you go. I tried it all. Tapia, what's going on, local? All right, so once again, this show is brought to you from our friends from CovrPrice.com. Go over to CovrPrice.com, sign up for a 2-week free trial, and you can get all this cool stuff. And as usual, for every Thursday Shaker Show, at the end of the show, after we show off the 10 books here that we're going to talk about, we are going to go log on because this list changes daily, folks. So, I mean, this is why it's cool. We're going to go and see what other big shakers. This list comes from our friends at CovrPrice, focusing on new sales or the most interesting sales found on their exclusive daily daily Shakers list. This list changes several times a day, so make sure you check it out every day to review some of the hottest trending books on the market. And unlike the CovrPrice top 10, this is based off of single sales, so you're going to see totally different books on this. And hey, if you have 10 out of 10, more power to you.
Good
man,
for you.
Because this list is crazy. Also, our friends at Rocket Comics, tell them the Lord sent you. Get 20% off your pressing order, be it first one book or 20 books. Also, our friends at KRSComics.com, use discount code LOTLB to get 15% off any KRS Comics exclusives, including a hot Star Wars book that's dropping tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific. I'm lying, 9 a.m. Pacific. I'm being an asshole. I'm like, let them come late because I don't want it to get sold out. So make sure you hit up our friends at KRS Comics. Check out our video we did Tuesday. Straight fire. If you haven't seen the KRS Comics mystery box unboxing, I mean, everybody got a slab. Everybody
straight
got
up worth it.
Dope variant. So there you go, man. Make sure you hit them up. They're going to do another mystery box soon. Remember, always use discount code because it works on the mystery boxes as well, boys and girls. Also, as our friends at CovrPrice are the Geeky Swags app, man. We still got hoodies and sweatshirts for all you people freezing out there. I know winter's not even anywhere near close. I mean, it's February.
How much are the hoodies, if you don't mind me asking?
Winter will last until like May for us.
Yeah.
For
what
me.
did Puxatani Phil say?
Tivo, how much are the hoodies?
$50 for the zip up hoodie, but it's nice and soft, and that's shipped. And then $40 for the pullover. And that includes shipping. So it costs a pretty penny to ship these things because they're pretty.
Oh, it's warmer than it was yesterday. It's 19 instead of 16.
Oh, nice. There you
Yeah,
go.
It's 50. It's 66 here today. So it was a
Oh,
bit chilly.
God. Look at this. Do you see how divided we are here? We have the
Seriously,
East and the West, like
it
the
is.
Midwest, the East
The
Coast.
West Coast is rocking
Everybody
the
in the
black.
black,
East
we're
Coast
the
is
red.
rocking the red. Yeah.
You know, that's
So-
it.
All right, so this is the CovrPrice top 10. Let me throw out my juicy graphic for y'all. Because if you can, I don't know if people notice this yet, but I think people have that. It shows some of the books already on here.
So
So
excited
I kind of giving away some of the secrets here. But
Put a little
all right,
work into
boys and
that.
girls, let's see what's shaking for this week. What is up first?
All right. First one on the list, we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 42, the mini promotional from 1966. Wait a minute. Now, if you thought mini comics was a modern thing, then we present this Amazing Spider-Man mini from 1969. This tiny issue reprints Amazing Spider-Man number 42 and was inserted into I Magazine Volume 2, Number 2. Now, other sources have suggested Esquire. However, that doesn't seem to be accurate. Now, back in the 60s, superheroes were still relatively young, and even Spidey needed some promotion after his 1962 introduction. You would think it was reprinted to celebrate the first cameo appearance of Mary Jane, right? No. All the key characters, MJ, Gwen, Flash, Harry, and the Rhino were removed from this insert. It's simply an early promo for just Spider-Man. Now, despite this week's new high sale of $400 for a CGC 6.0, raw copies are relatively inexpensive at around $50.
Wow.
Nice.
What do you think of
So,
that?
I mean, that is apparently what the comic looks like. Because I was like, man, Ryan bid me some bullshit graphics creating this. And I went on CovrPrice, and that's what it looks like, too. I was like, man.
Get me some bull graphics.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I guess that's
He's
what
about
it is.
to, he's about to yell at me, throw me under the bus.
No, because then I went on CovrPrice. I go, I guess that's what it looks like. It's like, all right, Amazing Spider-Man
Hey,
number
man.
42 from 1966, man. $400 for, you know what looks weird on these when they're graded? I don't know why, obviously they don't want to create new slabs, but it's just like it's not even centered. They just put it at the top and then it
Right.
just looks like it's missing inside the slab. But
I thought there was a mistake on the image when I went to grab it today.
no,
What
man,
is-
I looked too. I was like, I
Yeah.
guess that's what it looks like. But if you
Yeah.
didn't know, now you know, and no
Now
one's
you
half the
know.
battle. G.I. Ho. And,
Well, Speaking of G.I. Joe,
oh, you like that, huh?
I
You
do.
Like that? I
Yes,
do
I
believe
do.
that's what in the business. That's what we call a segue.
ooh, segue away. So speaking of G.I. Joe, this is G.I. Joe number 21. This is the Renegar edition, silver foil from Image 2003. This variant is known as the Renegar edition. It's a homage of the 1984 number 21 silent issue with art by the late great Michael Turner. The silver
So gorgeous.
Yeah, it really is. The silver version is exceptionally difficult to find, and it lies at the top of many G.I. Joe collectors' lists. It's also at the top of many rare variant collectors lists as well. Where's the variant horror when you need them, right?
Yeah.
This silver foil version only has 45 9/8 on the census, and this week's sale of $600 for a CGC 9.6, one of 15 on the census, actually seems like a great deal. It's the only copy we've seen come to market in quite a while.
So I'm impressed with High Voltage Mark here, who says he has one of two. So I'm.
He's
Do
either got
you
this
have this
or
one, or do you
this
have the? I was
mini.
going to say, really
Yeah,
impressed me if you
look.
have that Amazing Spider-Man half issue. But yeah, man. So sorry, Paul.
I'm impressed
This
if
is-
anybody has any of these on this list. These are
I
all
know.
great books.
Ooh.
That's what we like. Well, this next one, I think you guys got a good chance. And speaking of which, what do we got next, Otto?
Yeah, we're gonna go with Yo Joe again, and Otto does have this book because he bought this book right off the rack right here.
Nice.
This is GI Joe #1. This is a newsstand issue, guys. All right. What's different about it is the barcode on top and the pricing when you look at the $1.50cover price. Last week we saw a massive new high sale. This is unbelievable, of $3,995 as a buy it now. As a buy it now, you guys, for the newsstand for a 9/8. This is incredible when you realize that a year ago 9/8s were selling for $355. Then a few days later, an auction ended at $21.75 for a 9/8. Okay, which without that 4K would have been the new high. All right.
Mhm.
Finding the right buyer is key for a big book like this. Okay, so maybe the ongoing market default, the prices will fall in between. We're going to see, but let me tell you something. GI Joe is going to blow up. The silent issue. There's so many first appearances in those GI Joe books. You got to dig deep and you got to find them because they're out there. And this
All
is
right,
gonna
so
blow.
anytime years and newsstand copies come up, I have to do my obligatory. In 1982, what was the percentage of newsstand to direct market? So in 1982,
75.
you're better off buying a direct stand of GI Joe #1 because the newsstand was 80% and direct market was only 20%. If you remember, 1982
75.
wasn't that many comic book shops
Yeah,
out yet.
nope.
So it's just one of those things where it's not always what it seems, but they're just. You're just going to see more newsstand because there was more newsstand and more available. But, there's also the argument where people say newsstand are hard to find in 9/8s because, they just think, they were
Well, they were
pillaged
some
and raped.
Oh, this
Yeah,
mine was
definitely
read through.
pillaged.
Yeah.
Especially on those spinner racks because, people were like, to look at the ones behind you, you have to bend the front. That's where that
Yep.
crease right, like where the gun is, right? That's where you normally see it on those spinner racks. It used to just kill me, those damn spinner racks. But there you go, boys and girls. Next up on the list, GI Joe #1. Yo, Joe. Can't wait to see a trailer for that. All right. Next up on the list is if you have this one, then you're really doing well.
Bingo, right? All right, next up on the list, we've got Famous Funnies #212, originally published in 1954 from Eastern Color. Now, Frank Frazetta is one of the most popular and recognizable artists from the gold, silver, and bronze ages of comics. He is known for more than just comic book cover and interior art, as he was also an accomplished painter whose creations graced a wide range of media. In comics, he is most well known for his science fiction, fantasy, and horror-themed artwork. And the books that have his artwork gracing their covers continue to increase in both demand and price. One of the most popular series of books that Frazetta created, the covers are for issues 209 through 216 of Famous Funnies. Now, don't let the name fool you. It's a holdover from when comics were simply referred to as funnies. These issues have incredible science fiction and fantasy covers that are coveted by collectors. This week, we saw a CGC 5.5 copy of issue 212 sell for $3,360. And this is a massive jump over the last record sale at this grade of only $850 in April of 2019. Until you're able to find copies of these books to call your own, take some time and check out these issues on CovrPrice and figure out which one's your favorite. Meanwhile, check out our friends at Definitive's podcast, Detailed Deep Dive on Frank Frazetta, and fantastic interview with Frank's granddaughter, Sarah Frazetta. Take notes on Deep Dive. Seriously, you will end up buying one Frazetta after watching that.
Now, what's one of his Conan? The Conan one is one of his real famous ones,
Yeah,
right?
and Death Dealer also. Death Dealer is probably one of the most famous pieces of art. And it was a Death Dealer comic, too. And I think Sarah Frazetta is now doing art as well, if I'm not mistaken, because there's some new stuff. I mean, she obviously, he did, I want to say, what was that? Carter and the World of Mars. What's that movie?
John
John
Carter.
Carter.
John Carter. He also did the famous John Carter of Mars. So I mean, Frank Frazetta was, when I was growing up, one of my favorite artists. Period, because I loved his take on fantasy art, and then also I was a big fan of pinup art from what's her name? God, I forgot it already. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, the Death Dealer stuff. I mean, there was some comics that, never really translated well, but this is one of the things where if you could find Golden Age, Frank Frazetta, I mean, it's all, I mean, there's gold in them hills. So, instead of buying all those 90s trading cards, go get yourself some. There you go. Olivia, one of my favorite artists. I got a chance to meet Olivia at WonderCon or LA Comic Con, and I got a Olivia pinup book signed by her. Absolutely incredible, man. Olivia is one of my favorite artists as well. Frank Frazetta. Also, I mean, you can go down a rabbit hole just looking up like fantasy art. And
it's super cool.
It's so cool, man. But yeah, good to see some Frank Frazetta on here, man. So, Famous Funnies 212. If you got that, you're well on your way to becoming a comic collector. A good one at that. All right, next up is another weird one.
Next up is Marvel Age number 98. This is a Marvel title from 1991. Having released 1 month before Toxic Avenger number 1, this issue features a 5-page preview of that first series that is considered the first appearance of Toxic Avenger. Back in November, it was announced that Peter Dinklage would be starring in Legendary's Toxic Avenger reboot. And since then, Toxic keys have been climbing in price. This week, this Marvel Age 98 hit an all-time high, or an all-new high, I should say, of $1,325.
Shut the fuck up. Get out of here.
For a CGC 9.8. Yes, $1,300.
Yeah, I could totally see the resemblance of Toxic Avenger and Peter Dinklage right there. I mean,
right.
I don't know if he's going to be a scientist or whatever, or is he going to be mutated or something, but that's... for like I said,
Marvel,
I don't know. We seem to be repeating ourselves every week, and
Marvel
it's good because it's reading the tea leaves. Like I hate to say, I mean, you might as well, guys, make it a drink game. Every time I say drink, read the tea leaves, take a drink.
We'll be drunk.
Because if you notice the trend we've been seeing, it doesn't even have to be an original comic book property, as long as it's being developed again for movies or TV. And if there was ever a comic book made about it, people are going to go look for it. That's just the way collecting has gone. I mean, so fully waiting for when the new Indiana Jones movie comes out, and they just said it's going to be Indiana Jones and like the Fountain of Youth or some shit, and they're going to de-age Harrison Ford. There's a Indiana Jones Marvel comic. So I'm just saying, just throwing out there now that my prediction will be, it'll probably be on this list, not this list, but the other list, just for a week though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not being a market maker or anything. I'm just reading the tea leaves and telling you anything that has to do with comic books. Anything that gets made into a movie, if it was once a comic book from the 70s, the 80s, whatever, the 90s. Remember, in the 80s, Marvel, more so than DC, but DC as well, they license out a ton of stuff. And there was just, I mean, if you just think about the Muppet Babies and all this other crazy shit that they were doing, right? Remember there was comics? Yeah. Alf, that Alf comic has been on here forever,
yes,
right? I mean, imagine them saying, we're going to make an Alf movie. See, when you frame it like that, people are like, well, damn, that makes sense then. I'm going to go buy that Alf comic. But I'm just saying, it just seems to be the trend that it continued in 2000, that was in 2020 and continued into 2021, because people are realizing there's comic books almost for all these kind of pop culture things. If it was pretty popular, they made a comic book about it. And then remember Lord of the Rings comic book, is coming out, for the new Lord of the Rings show, the Game of Thrones show, the prequel. And we talked about that. So there's all kinds of weird shit, but Marvel Age number 98 from 1991. If you got that on your 2021 bingo card, you are well on your way to being a real comic collector or something like that. All right, next up is something a little bit more in tune with what the comic world likes to see.
Yeah, but we're gonna go all the way back to 1943. Oh my goodness,
let's take a time travel.
That's it. We're gonna go back. How far? Way back. All right. Marvel Mystery Comics number NN. Variant interior. I don't know how they're reading that, but that's pretty interesting. So if you aren't familiar with this comic, you're not alone. This is a special 128-page issue of Marvel Mystery Comics. It's extremely rare, and from its $25,000 sale last week at a CGC 3.5. It's
Boom.
also really expensive. Okay.
Yeah.
This was a special issue that was created with a cover almost identical to Marvel Mystery Comics number 33, but the interiors of Captain America Comics number 22 and Marvel Mystery Comics number 41. It was only distributed in New York City, so that number of copies available is extremely low and almost never come up for sale. The last graded sale that they have recorded here at CovrPrice is from 2013, when another CGC 3.5 sold for $8,422. There's also recorded here at CovrPrice. It's from 2013, and another CGC. I said already. Sorry, guys. But this book seems to be even more rare. So they have no record sales of this in the database. Go check it out. There are only 11 CGC graded unrestored copies in existence.
Now
So
that is a rare.
Wow.
damn
yeah.
book,
So ready to open
man.
up that wallet.
Wow.
Imagine
Ready to
that,
open up
dude.
that
That's a
wallet.
3.5 for
Look at that cover.
25
It's amazing.
grand,
Yep.
dude, from 1943, dude. Marvel Mystery Comics. And I think the NN means there was no number. You see that a lot on
number.
graphic novels when they get graded.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll see like a NN on it. That means there's no number.
Right.
Right. If you look on it, it just says Marvel Comics. Sometimes you see this in the Golden Age and Silver Age. It just says blah 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 comics, Winter Special, or summer
It's
special.
on
or
it's
something.
on the Killing Joke book, CGC.
Exactly,
It says
yeah,
NN.
CGC, because it's a graphic novel, so they don't number them for those one. It's typically a one shot, so why number them, right? So
Right.
there's golden in there, Hill. So
There
if,
really is.
if you have
Wow.
a Marvel Comics collection going back to 1943, you might want to go dig in there.
Go
and see if
dig.
there's-
This is
Send me a
post,
picture of it, would you?
This is post
All
Pearl
right.
Harbor right here.
Yeah.
That's classic.
So
history
here's a
right
little
there.
bit of foreshadowing. We actually talked about this book last week when we saw it on the Shakers list, and sure enough, and you know what? Shout out to our man Matt DeVoe from CovrPrice for pulling up all the history and giving you the detailed notes on the provenance of this book. Yes, I use that in the correct way. Provenance is what they use for people who buy art and want to know the history of it. So there you go. The provenance of this book and this damn Amazing Spider-Man number 42. Matt is very knowledgeable. So thank you for finding those out, because we would have never figured it out. Just imagine if he would have sent us like, oh, here's the list, and just showed us the covers and like, oh shit, we gotta figure this out for
shit.
ourselves.
Yeah, right. Forget it.
All right. So back to what we were talking about. I brought this up last week because I was like, what the hell is this? And sure enough, it's on the list this week.
There it is. Okay. Next up on the list, we've got Sideways #1, the Kenneth Rocafort Comics Pro edition, originally published in 2018 from DC Comics. All right, now Sideways, aka Derek James, had a short-lived solo series where he made his first appearance in this first issue. Now, he's a teenager who has the ability to form rifts in midair and travel through dimensions. For a short while, he was also a member of Young Justice. Now, due to the Teen Titans Young Justice place of prominence in DC's future state, there is speculation that we will see Derek again in a more evolved state. It's an interesting idea that doesn't seem impossible. With that being said, speculators are buying up this first issue and this hard to find Comics Pro variant, which sold at CGC 9.8 this week for a big $500.
Damn.
Now, even without Future State, Sideways has been a character fans have been pulling out of the dollar bins for the last 2 years. So keep an eye out on this first.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm not a DC guy, but
I've never heard of
I
him.
I never heard of him either. So there you go. But it's one of those things. I probably under ordered. Not a lot of people were really rushing out to get it, but it just takes a new storyline, and there you go. Sideways. So some of you people are struggling with the list today, but you know what? That's all right. This is the Shakers list.
This is
So
this is definitely the Shakers list.
This is rarefied air on the CovrPrice top 10. If you're not getting at least half of those, then you are failing. No, I'm just kidding. I really dig when
Forget it,
people
quit life.
Yeah, I really dig when you guys put in the numbers of what
It's
you're
cool,
getting.
man.
It's group participation. I
Yes,
dig
it
man.
is.
So, but yeah, Sideways, man.
Shout
I
out to the
gotta
live
go.
chat, actually. Shout out to that live chat tonight. You guys are on fire. We really do appreciate you hanging out with us each and every Thursday. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like. It's good for the algorithm.
Yeah, actually sub up, man. We are like 15 away from 6,000 sub up, so we could finally announce the contest video, and you guys can enter, and we'll let it run for a couple weeks and give away some free shit because that's what we like to do.
Some fun free shit.
Yeah, but next on this list,
Next
Sideways,
on this
number
list.
1, Kenneth Rockefort, the Comics Pro variant from 2018. All right, next up, the Force is strong with this one.
The Force is strong with this one very much. Star Wars number 1. This is the 35-cent price edition, Marvel Publishing, 1977. While not Star Wars canon, none of the original Marvel series is these days. This book is still beloved by Star Wars collectors all over the world. The 35-cent regional price variant is, however, arguably one of the most coveted versions of this already beloved book. Not to be confused with the 35-cent reprints. There are diamonds in the upper left, no UPC at the bottom left to tell the difference. This is a first print price variant, and it's hard to find and quite pricey. So much so that a CVCS 5.0 copy recently sold for a whopping $4,500. I'm going to choke a little bit.
Wow.
A CVCS 5.0. A high sale at this grade level, obviously. For context, you could almost get 2 of the CGC 9.8 copies of the regular 30-cent edition for what those two or that one 5.0 sold for. Our highest sale we ever recorded was in May of 2016 for CGC 9.4 at $26,290. Who knows what that would go for today? So if you have it, pop it up on eBay. We'll see.
Yeah.
So for the true Star Wars fan, any copy of Star Wars number 1 35-cent edition would be a welcome addition to the collection.
I've always said that the Star Wars number 1, the 35-cent price variant is the holy grail of price variants.
It really is.
It is. Because there's a lot of them out there. And if you don't know, there was kind of like a test market they did in certain states. They're saying, hey, let's bump up the price and see how well they do. But, and then it kind of went away. But, they sprinkle them out throughout. I mean, if you really want, I'm trying to remember if there's a Mark Jewelers insert price variance as well. That is like the double jeopardy of the variant. But this has always been the most coveted, I think, of all the 35-cent price, variants. I mean, who knows? Maybe there'll be a first appearance of another character that comes in a movie and there's a 35. Because I know there's some of the Iron Fist runs have the 35 price variant as well. But obviously, Star Wars Now is on fire. So this is like a 5.0.
Yeah,
for 4,500. That just shows the rarity of them as well, man. Because there's a lot of people out there that collect specific. They go out searching for these the price variants as well as the Mark Jewelers inserts.
Right.
And somebody asked me on Instagram about the Mark Jewelers insert. I said they're fine, but if you can combine a Mark Jewelers insert with a key being a first appearance or first issue, then you got something. This is like the perfect storm.
Right.
It's 35% price edition. It's Star Wars number 1, and Star Wars is hot now. So it's just a culmination of all things, and it's a 5.0. Good Lord have mercy, man. All right, so Star Wars number 1, the 35-cent price edition, making the list at a 5.0 for 45. And not even a CGC. Look at CBCS making this.
But that's the thing that they said. 298 sold for 2,500.
Yeah.
998 CGCs of the 30-cent price.
So let me ask the
crazy.
live chat of that. What would you rather have? A 5.0 35-cent price edition or a 9.0 regular price edition? 9.8, excuse me. I would rather have the 9.8.
I'd take the 9.8.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think I'd go with the 35-cent.
I would go with the 5.0 myself. See, Ryan, we're on one side, they're on the other.
5.0.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fuck the red shirts today, okay?
Yeah, really. My God.
Damn right,
I like that.
All right.
I like the solid 5 as a grade, and the
I like
rarity
the
of it.
size, the grade, and I like the fact that it's double the price of your 9.8.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
All
it knows.
right, fuck the red shirts like on Star
There you go.
All
Here we
right.
go.
What's next on the list?
All right, there you go. Red shirt time. Here we go. It's Teen Titans Go number 41. Red X right here came in Teen Titans number 23. That is currently selling for $250 for a raw book. However, its lead in this is Pink X, aka Kitten. While we have no sign of a current or future state appearance, her first appearance in this issue is sure climbing. With the significant scarcity A raw copy sold for $112.50 last week. So now you're looking at, you go from Red X to Pink X in the first appearance right here. So you got this one.
I read some things where they're saying like the Clown Hunter is not Red X or something like that. Is that true? I mean, I don't read this kind of DC stuff, but it wasn't. What was the spec that Clown Hunter was the character Red X? Because I was asking, does anybody know who Red X is? Is it an existing character or is it a brand new character?
I don't know.
I want to say it came from Teen Titans Go
Teen Titans
or something.
That's
it was
where Red
like,
X came from. Yeah.
But in the,
but I don't think it was ever.
But in the DC new storyline, the future,
in the future state,
you know
yes.
I mean?
In the future state, yeah.
Yeah, they're
Now
saying it's they're did they say who it is? I don't know.
I don't know. Roger's been reading this. He's been telling us all about it.
But I know Clown Hunter was the spec.
Yeah, it was. All right, so Teen Titans Go, number 41. I know that's Ryan's favorite. So
I love it.
Right.
Teen Titans, baby.
All right, the last one on the list is something we all kind of got to see on our KRS mystery box unboxing. Well, at least we saw the artist, but who is it?
Man, she's so good at her artwork.
Man, look at this. All right, next up we've got Ursa Minor number 3, Natalie Sanders, Virgin Take Me Home.
Ooh.
From Big Dog Inc., published in 2012. Now, Natalie Sanders is one of today's go-to variant artists. Her amazing photorealistic covers mostly feature female comic characters carving her own niche in the comic world. When an artist gets hot, collectors scour for early covers to help weed out the rarest ones. Well, Natalie did several covers for this series, and all are holding their value. However, this particular cover has commanded the most due to its rarity. Last week, it sold for $1,099.99 for a CGC 9.8. These are books that ended up in back issues and dollar bins. So keep a lookout for this series, and happy hunting.
I'm pretty sure it sold not for other reasons besides being scarce.
Yeah, right.
So I can say I know Natalie Sanders. I've talked to her a couple times actually, in person, because she used to always do the KRS Comics booth, and she was supposed to come on our show actually. And I told her, I said, hey, after this COVID stuff, not knowing it was going to be a year, but we're definitely going to have her back on the show, or be on the show, because I talked to her about it when she's rocks with KRS for a while. So I've known her I've talked to her at least 3 or 4 times in person, and she's a very cool, very tiny. She's a tiny petite little girl, just tiny. So I even found, I have to go dig for it, but I do believe I have her first ever art on a cover.
Really?
At least her first variant cover, because when she was getting hot, this was like 2 years ago, and I started trying to find out, and then I finally thought I found it, and I tweeted at her and I said, hey, is this your first work? And I forgot if she told me yes or no, but either way, it's one of her earliest works, and I'll show it on Instagram when tomorrow. For first appearance Friday, it'll be first appearance of Natalie Sanders. So there you go.
Right.
But
there you go.
Man, that is amazing, man. So Ursa Minor number 3, and this is, god damn, that's sexy.
Yeah, but then you look at her claw and her crazy foot. That scares you a little bit.
Well, that's what makes it sexy, man. Come on now.
You're into bestiality, you son of a bitch.
Hey, man, whatever furries want to do, that's
hey, you know what? I am not judging. I don't. You know what? Be you, man.
You should not judge.
I never judge.
That's a problem I felt with.
All right, so let's go and take a look on the CovrPrice website, and let's see if anything's changed, boys and girls.
Let's see what we got.
Look at that. See if I can share immediately. Oh, I always forget that I have to take that down. All right.
Yes.
So, skadoosh. All right.
Boom.
So here we go. So we go down. This is obviously the weekly top 10. Fully expect these whole covers to be off tomorrow or soon. These are the weekly movers. These are highest units sold, kind of usual suspects. You got Strange Tales, Immortal Hulk, Star Wars. This Teen Titan book seems to keep on going and going.
Strange Academy.
But this is what we're here for, boys and girls, the Shakers. For $6.99, if I believe there's a $2.99 membership you can fill out, and you would only see like the first 5 or 10 of these. But for $6.99 a month, guess what you get? You get all 50 of them. Skadoosh. So look at that. Hey, there you go, Otto. Here's some for you. Let's take a look at some classics, man.
Let's do it.
So X-Men number 1.
I can dig it.
Yeah. Can you dig this
I like
price
it.
though? Because a
What can I afford?
5.0
Go
just
down
sold
to
for
5.5.
16
gosh.
grand
Oh,
yesterday.
Oh,
Man, I remember I
that means
had
maybe a 0.5. What's a half?
I had a 3.4.0 that somebody was selling for like $2,000. Like before Fox
Yeah.
was bought by Disney, and I didn't pull the trigger, and I think that ship has sailed, and I have drowned in the ocean behind it. But look at that. There's some Thor love.
Classic keys, classics are up there,
it's
man.
always
That's nice to
classics
see.
here. So look at that. Walking Dead. Let's see if there's anything
Not
that
all
jumps
that
out.
modern
Let's
stuff.
let's
This
look
is
at this
classic.
Wonder Woman, man.
Ryan,
Let's
there's
get
our
it.
Brave and the Bold 28.
There it is. Yeah, I want to know what grade that is, though.
All right, we'll
It's
get
very
right to it. Let's
underrated.
look at some Wonder Woman, number 25, dude.
Look at
Some
that.
some golden.
Look at
age
that
goodness.
cover. That's cool.
Look at the guys in the window.
This.
Look at the villains coming through with the knife.
No, she's got
I don't
3
know.
wanted posters, and they're all 3 behind her.
Yeah. Oh, that's
she
great.
came right to them. This is from 1947, Wonder Woman number 25, a 9.4.
9.4.
That seems super cheap to me.
It really does seem cheap for a 9.4.
Well,
That's not a key issue or anything,
From
but if you could get
19
a,
I think so.
How do you get anything in the 9s from 1940s? Oh my
there's
goodness.
time travelers among us, I'm telling you. But they bought
Oh
the wrong
my
book, or
goodness.
they went back in time.
9.4.
Yeah, really.
Apparently, they can only go back in time to that 1 year, and that's all they could find. Here, so let's rub it in on you guys. Here's
Whoa, giant. Whoa.
Wait, I have a 3.5, I think.
Yeah.
So
Or
there's Brave and the
4.0.
Bold. This is
Look
the
at
first
that.
appearance of the Justice League, Brave and
the
the Bold
Super
number
Friends.
28 from 1959. A 3.0 sold for $2,500.
Very
Okay.
undervalued.
Very, very
I,
undervalued.
I
very
think
underappreciated it.
I think the closer we get to the Snyder cut of the Justice League, I think this book, well, people are going to start grabbing this book even more.
They
'cause
should. My God.
$2,500 for a 3.0 seems rather cheap to me.
Yes,
actually.
because you look at all the other keys, and just because it's not one character, it's the first time they were deemed the Justice League, though. You know what I mean? This is
And this Starro, the starfish,
Star-
always
yes.
fucking just kills me, man. It just,
Right.
doesn't he have like telepathy powers too?
yeah, he does. He's
So
got
it's a
his little
starfish that
bit-
can read your mind. That's
yeah,
just
it's an
fucked
alien
up, man.
starfish, no
Yeah.
less. That can read your mind.
Let's talk about
Alien.
Dr. Afra a little bit because look at that. It says I own 2 of them. See that right there, boys and girls?
Ooh.
You can see part of your
Yeah.
collection. You just click on it here, and you can say you can add it as a raw, or you can say, hey, I have a slab copy, and you can tell what company is it and what grade it is. But mine are raw, so I'll cancel because I've already added my 2. But this book is super hot, and you may see it on the Friday's auction, at least one of them, because I have 2 of the 1 in 25 variants. $8.98 for a raw copy. Yesterday, sold today.
Wow.
Both of mine are raw,
Wow.
and both of mine are, I would say, 9.6, 9.8 worthy. I won't guarantee it, but I was looking at them and I was debating if I should sell them or if I should slab them. But it's when I saw this, I thought it was a 9.8. Dude, that is a raw for almost
Wow.
$900. And let's look at some of the slab sales. And we can scroll down to it if you're on that book. Let's look at some of them. Holy cow.
Again, this is when you unlock everything. You end
Jesus,
up
maybe
with
you
this-
should
This
slab them.
This is the worm rabbit hole. You will spend hours in here on these numbers. I'm telling
Yeah,
you.
you really will.
So yesterday, a 9.8 sold for $22.50.
Yeah, so you
that's
should probably
perfect.
slab it
Wow.
then.
I think
slab
we'll
'em.
see if I can get sell it.
I mean,
raw
if you
for-
What's the
need-
9.6 go for though? What if it
if you
comes
need a
back
quick
9.6?
600.
What's the 9.6?
well,
Yeah, but
What's the 9.6?
9.6
a long
isn't too
play.
bad.
Oh, dude, you need to
13.99?
slab that thing.
Yeah, definitely slab it.
Yeah, so we'll
Just
see.
slabbing
Slab
that thing.
worthy.
It comes back 9.6.
I
and
kind
you
of
still
let the rabbit. I got 2 of
4
them. Maybe
digits?
I'll sell one in the auction and then I'll slab the other
You're
one.
about to set a new record for the raw. Is what's going to
Yeah,
happen.
so man, it's good to see Dr. Afra. I mean, Star Wars is just crazy right now. Good to
Let's see that Silver Surfer.
Yeah, what's up with that giant size X-Men 2? I mean, I haven't seen that one pop up on the list.
Silver Surfer obviously is getting hot because of Mephisto, and it's Thursday, so we can say, hey, can't wait to see WandaVision tonight and about
right.
midnight my time at
Damn,
least.
I'll be in bed.
yeah,
I have what do I have? Let's see.
I have 5.5.
So when you click on it, it shows all of them in your collection. So these are the ones that I own. I own number 1, 7.5, and number 2, 8.0. Number 3 is a 7.5, and my
But
number
look,
4
that's so
is
like linear.
8.0.
Like,
Yeah,
you
I
have
know, right?
1 and
It's
3 in the same grade, 2 and 4 in the same grade.
Otto, I do believe I posted all 4 of them, and I even tagged you in it. And
You
said
absolutely
it
did,
was
my friend.
linear.
That's right. It's very linear.
Very linear.
Linear.
It's so linear.
It's so linear. That's the name of the new show. Yeah, let's
love
take a
it.
look at this. I don't know
And
what
what is
the
up with
provenance.
this?
Anybody in the live chat know who's the first appearance of this in Giant Size
Nobody.
X-Men 2? Or is
No,
it just
but
because
someone
it's
says in a high grade, it's very tough to find.
yeah, $1,980
Square-bound
for a
book.
9.8. Yeah, this is I don't think it's a first appearance or anything, but
No.
it's just one of those things. It's just like
That's a book I
sometimes
gotta go after.
9.8. God,
Do it, Otto.
I don't
Do
know.
it.
I don't
Let's-
need it at 9.8.
but let's just
I would need it in a 7 to match my GSX-1 though.
Easy.
easy.
Ooh.
But before we go off on a tangent, let's see what
I'm gonna look at
actual
eBay right
sales history is on this. So sales
Yeah,
history
look at
tells
the
me
history.
that
Looking at
so February 10th, 1980. But one hadn't sold in a couple of years, so a 9.8 sold back in 2019 for $944. So, but there was one in 2016. So it's kind of all over the place. But it's
It really
always
is.
been. A 9.8 has always been since December 2011 for $970. So it just one of those things. It's just always be careful of just the last sale. Kind of look at sales trends to see. So this way, when you're making a deal with somebody, good to see our friend Ghost Rider on there. This turtle book continues. I know Mike just sold one of these. Our friend the Big To
I
Do.
missed out on one of those. I can't
shout
believe
out
it.
to the Big To Do.
All right, let's take a look at. We're not going to look at Amazing Spider-Man again.
Don't look at it. Don't look
All
at
right.
it. Don't look at it.
Ooh,
This
Night
one's
Nurse.
interesting. So this is the first appearance of Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady.
Yep.
9.8, 1610. Turtle Power continues to run amok. And guess
Canadian
what?
price variant, though. Go back
Oh,
and look
yeah.
at that. You got to
Oh,
make
that's the
sure.
Canadian price
Yep, yep.
variant.
Oh yeah, look at that. So let's look at the regular one. I think that's the regular one, right? Yeah. So the regular one is hot too. So there you go. So this is not the Canadian price variant, but a solid $14.50 for a 9.8. And guess what? I'll have one for sale tomorrow.
Oh, look at you.
Ooh.
You see what I'm doing?
You
with this? I'm
come
just kidding.
to a
that.
show and you get an auction
Here you
preview.
go. For all you
He's
Transformers
setting it
fans,
up.
this
He's
will not be
setting
for
it up.
sale. So I'm just
Yep.
not setting up my
2,000
own
for a
sales.
9.8. I bet. I
Yeah,
bet
is
it's
this
2,000.
Sienkiewicz? Is this
Oh,
Sienkiewicz?
that absolutely is. Yep.
Bill Sienkiewicz, not Sienkiewicz, boys and girls. It's Sienkiewicz. First appearance of the Autobots and
All
Decepticon.
of them.
Boom!
Yeah, right under
God
there.
damn, there was no gold in these hills. I swear to God, this was not a
Holy
$1,700 book, man.
Dude,
But
what?
It's
we
crazy.
all know that Transformers is being rebooted, and it's 2021, so that just means when Michael Bay first started doing Transformers movies, nobody gave a shit about Transformers comic books. Nobody gave a shit about G.I. Joe comic books when those movies were coming out. But it's 2021, and even if they didn't start as a comic book, there's gold in them there hills. So I'm just saying, read the tea
Wow.
leaves. Any type of weird thing. This Vampirella is
Shot,
absolutely gorgeous.
tea
Is this
leaves.
Frazetta? Is this? We were just talking about Frazetta. Is this a Frazetta
Yeah,
cover?
it looks like Frazetta.
Yep, it is. Frank Frazetta. Hey, that's what you call.
Mm.
Symbiotic programming right there. We were just talking about Frank Frazetta, and we pulled up a
Made
Frank
it
Frazetta
happen.
cover. Vampirella #1 from Warren
Full
Comics,
circle.
September 1969. So this you see right here, it's considered a key comic. Comics that have a key character appearances, a low print run, or have been proven to always be in demand. This happens to be, I believe, the first appearance of Vampirella, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and definitely in a
Issue
magazine.
number 1.
Graded 8.0, 1510, and I'm pretty sure this was the Big To Do's copy because he got a bunch of these. If you look at the Big To Do's video on Instagram, he got a Vampirella 1 along with that Savage Tales. Remember that book we showed last week? And Mike would just throw these up as buy now, and he prices them pretty well, so you should follow him. Hey, we haven't had a Night Nurse book on here for a while. Let's take this. And I will also be... No, I'm just kidding. I won't be selling this. So this is Night Nurse issue number 4 from 1973. One of the goofiest kind of comic characters ever. 9.6 sold for $13.25. Not even the first appearance of Night Nurse. If there's another first appearance in there some of you guys don't know about that you can tell us in the live chat, drop the knowledge on us because I don't know what this is, but there you go. Remember Night Nurses used to dress like this? Remember what were they used to called in the 80s?
Candy
Stripers.
Candy Stripers, yep.
There you go, you perv.
I know.
There you go.
R.I.P. Larry Flint.
Oh yeah. Here we go. You got some You got this issue, Ryan?
No, I don't. This is an expensive book. This is his first appearance at Deadshot.
Look at the big brains on Brad. All right.
Oh, look
Batman
at
number
that.
59 from 1950. And if you didn't know, Deadshot is going to be one of the main characters in the new Suicide Squad movie.
I mean,
directed and written by
3.5
James
for
Gunn.
1,500. Come on.
Exactly. For
3.5.
those who didn't know, Deadshot's been around since the Golden Age. Look at that, 1950. So
Wow.
there you go. So there's that.
Fortunately, I don't consider Deadshot a Batman villain per se, so I don't really need it in my villains. I mean,
is it a Batman book? It's his first appearance.
Yeah, but
Batman
but he's
book
more of a.
He's anti-hero. No,
I don't know. I say that to myself so I don't feel bad about not having it in my collection.
What the fuck is going on with what's going on with somebody buying up all these night nurses?
Yep.
9.6 over 960.
Hell?
What in the hell is going on, man? I'm telling you, these some goofy covers.
What's going on?
Because I know about Night Nurse number 1. I mean, obviously this is a thing that people seem to,
we talked about that years ago too.
Well,
he's hurt bad. I've got to help him, but if I do, I'll lose the man I love forever.
It got hot because of the Daredevil show, right?
Exactly, yeah. So there you go. Unless somebody knows something we don't, and they're buying. All right, I remember talking about this book. This is the D23
Craven.
variant.
What is up with this thing?
This was a D23 variant that was given out at the Marvel panel, or it could have been a Marvel Studios panel or a Marvel panel. And it was, you could only get a copy if you attended the thing. My man Sith Lordy, if he's in the live chat, he can, I don't know if he's there or not, but he could tell you the story about this. When he went to D23, some ravaging fucking beasts basically went to where they were handing them out and started snagging all of them. So basically everybody who attended the panel, I think there was like, maybe 400 people, 500 people attended the panel. Everybody was guaranteed to get one copy on their way out. But these ravaging collectors or scumbags, they snatched the whole box and took off. And so that's, I think, hit up Sith Lordly on Spine Ticks this Saturday and ask him the story about this Marvel Comics, because he was there, he saw it. And I have the poster of this, but unfortunately I wasn't able to get the comic. Great. So basically the provenance of this is the first time Mickey Mouse appears on the cover of a Marvel comic. So there you go. So graded 9 point, plus the scarcity of it. There was only 500 that were made for the D23. So there you go. See, issue 1000 D23 2019, the Humberto Ramos, $1,174.95. Good God. See, rarely you ever see such a modern book on here. Anything else, y'all? Hey, this is rather new. Shall we look at this?
I think Justin just got one of those.
Yep, and he's a smart man.
I still have history with this book.
I think damn it, I've had 2 of these and I sold them. I should have held on to them. I'm horrible at modern variants because I used to think modern variants where you need to get rid of them quickly, but now 2020, 2021 have proven that theory to be, I don't know, it's hit or miss. But either way,
really is hit or miss.
$850 for a raw comic.
Raw, good God.
That's raw. I mean, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's not even, I do believe this is the first time she's called Ghost Spider though, right? Remember, she was called Spider-Gwen for the longest time, and I think this is a Jae Hung Lee 1 in 100. It's an absolutely gorgeous cover, man. I'm telling you, when she gets introduced into the live action Marvel Universe, the book's gonna blow up. Hey, you got some more Justice League for you. So, remember this book, Dark Knight's Metal? We were just talking about that.
What is it? That's
the reason why this is so. So this is just. Yep. This is the issue 12, North Carolina Oak City Comics Comic-Con. Wow. If you've ever been to North Carolina Oak City Comic-Con, the foil variant, a 9.9, sold for $700.
Hey, finally, a 9.9. There you go.
There's tons of 9.9 out there. Whoever told you that doesn't know what they're talking about. They need to research more. Hey, this one is hot. Now, this is interesting. Don't see many of these appear on this list. The Cat. Not even the first appearance of the Cat, but what is the issue? I guess it is. I thought it was in Avengers. I thought that was the first appearance of Hellcat was in the Avengers book. But either way, first appearance of the Cat, $6.99 for a 9.4 from 1972. I wonder if they're thinking, because remember Trish whatever was on Jessica Jones, and there's been talk of Marvel wants to bring back Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones, and they're probably assuming if where she goes, then the hot blonde chick that played Trish the Cat is going to come with her. So, I mean, there's always a reasoning for some of these things because it doesn't really make sense. The Last Ronin book, hey, everybody's favorite Batgirl book. Let's take a look at this.
That's a
Detective
great
Comics
book.
number 359 from November 1966. First appearance of Batgirl. That seems pretty cheap to me, actually. $800 for a CGC
5.5. Yeah, that's
for
solid.
5.5. That seems rather cheap to me, man.
I gotta see what I got.
All right, so a lot of
Get
decent
that
books in
Wolverine
this
real
one.
quick. Check out that Wolverine one.
Yeah,
God, I love
look
that
at
cover.
First solo Wolverine title. $750
Oh
for
my
9.8.
God.
Wow.
$750. What?
You know how many people I know who are hoarding this? Like, if you just look at any Wolverine Wednesday, people will throw up like 27 copies of this. I swear to God. But great
my
miniseries. Frank
God.
Miller,
Insane.
first solo Wolverine
That's
title.
on the CGC next.
Well, this is one of the
9.8.
things I
Oh
tell
my
you guys, man.
God.
People can't afford Hulk 180, Hulk 181. This is the next best thing. This is Wolverine's first solo series. And then you can start looking at, first patch. Then you can start looking at the first Marvel Comics Presents, the first Wolverine solo series. So if I'm not mistaken, this is also the first
Wow.
Marvel miniseries. Am I correct in that? I'm trying to...
The first Marvel miniseries was Contest of Champions.
Yes, that 3
yes,
issue.
so
But
this
this is the first
This is
4
Frank
issue.
Miller, Claremont. This might be the first. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to jinx it. I don't know.
And then to make a clarification,
Yuriko,
last week
Yuriko.
when we pulled up the Iron Fist 15, remember we pulled up the Iron Fist 15, the Bronze Age book, and I told you guys this is a retraction, kind of more of a correction. And I said Iron Fist 15, the provenance on that is because it's the first John Byrne X-Men.
Correct.
And I was incorrect. The first John Byrne X-Men is actually a Marvel team up number 53. But what it is, Iron Fist 15
Yep.
is the first Byrne and Claremont team together to write and draw the X-Men.
Gotcha.
That's
Interesting.
why.
Okay.
So that's why that Iron Fist 15 book
Hey,
is.
Tim, go to that ASM 15. I'm curious. I just saw that was a raw sale.
What number team up did you say
15,
that
where?
was?
It's right above.
I think Marvel
up.
Team Up
Right there.
53. It's a Marvel Team Up with the Hulk on it. I do believe it's a red cover. I can see.
Well, I
right
It's
have
there.
down.
a 53. I wouldn't.
You went too high.
I always go high.
Down one more. Right there.
Craven?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I can
Well,
already
Craven's
tell you
gotta
why
be going
this is.
crazy right
There's
Yeah.
crazy rumors that were spread about Keanu Reeves is going to be Craven the Hunter, and I just don't see
In
that
multiple
happening. But
movies.
that's all it takes is when we got this covered article and
But
people
that was
were
a
going
raw
nuts.
sale for $1,100.
Yep. I'm telling you, the first like 50 issues of Spider-Man, that there's
Gold.
gold there, and then their hills, man. Tons of key appearances.
Do they know what the
11.25.
raw like grade was? Like what or it just says raw?
No, they're gonna in future iterations of it. They're gonna put the actual raw. Well,
Like
because
what
it's
they said it was?
Well, it's subjective, so it's hard to say.
Subjective, though.
It, so I mean, it's not. We can. That's why we always go off of graded sales. As should everybody else, because you can't compare a GPA graded slab to a raw comic, and what one man's VF could be another man's Fine Plus. And so that's so it's kind of. It's a gray area price. That's why I got comicpriceguide.com used to have like a raw price guide, and it's like, well,
So but look at that. Go up. So you have the average sale for a 9.8 for what was that 7.0 is 948.
yeah. So maybe it was a high grade copy. I mean, really, if you really wanted to look up.
Yeah, I guess I could look it up, but it's just
eBay.
it just blows my mind when I see stuff
Well,
like that.
If somebody has, or it could have been auction, but at 11.25,
Go to the
that's
sales.
to me,
Go to the raw sales data.
to me that looks like that's a buy it now price because it was rounded off. Graded sales of what?
The raw sales data. I'm just curious.
Be curious in your own time, fucker. Anyway,
Okay, never
You wanna
mind.
know.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good
all
night.
right,
I'm gonna go look it up.
so this is raw sales. I mean, last two of them sold. I mean, here's one.
Oh
where
yeah,
it
look,
has
there's
an
a
extra-
number next to the one underneath it.
because they can probably
Under
make an
raw sales.
accurate estimation of it, or if they got contacted somebody. But so I can say from if
Well, you
somebody
should have bought
says-
them back in December, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that shit, yeah.
Damn, look at that.
Well, this is all based on the spec that Keanu Reeves is going to be Craven. Because I don't know if you guys have been following, but that's
Shit, I got a raw one to sell for that kind of money.
Yeah, but if you look here in November 2020, there was one that hit 640. So I mean, you know, and that's why there's another raw copy that sold in October for 1180. So I mean, that's why we like looking at sales data for slab copies because, you know, let's look at a 7.5 and that gives us a better accurate representation of what pricing is. So if we go down here, you can kind of see, holy shit,
Wow.
18,000 for a 9.6.
Oh.
Christ.
Wait a second, what am I doing here?
Whoa, what do you
Let's see.
do? What?
Here's a sweet spot. So in 9.0, there's 19 copies in their database.
That's a nice looking book in a 9.0.
5,400 from that was
A couple
3
days ago. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5,400. So
3
I'm
days
telling
ago.
you, these recent price bumps are all from. If you Google it, you know somebody. Put it this way: Keanu Reeves has been rumored to be in everything
Moon Knight,
for
Moon
Marvel.
Knight.
Everything.
And from what I've heard, it's literally true. Marvel just said, "Hey, man, what do you want to do? We'll take whatever you want to do. We'll give you." That's how hot Keanu Reeves is now. Speaking of hotness, we'll put our pretty faces on the screen. So right now, I mean, Keanu Reeves has been attached with Warlock, Silver Surfer, now Craven, and somebody else. Who
It was
it?
Moon
I
Knight
forgot.
for a while, wasn't it? At
Moon
one
Knight
point?
as well. But you
Yeah.
know, when they said Moon Knight was going to be on Disney Plus, I said, "Oh no, he's not going to be on there." Keanu Reeves is box office. I mean, Oscar Isaac, great actor, but can he be top billing for a movie? A movie, you know? But Keanu Reeves, put him on billing on top of a movie, guaranteed. Especially off the success of John Wick and you know, him and just being a great person, sitting on the bus and helping people out. I mean, that's Keanu Reeves for you, man. So there you go. We have stretched it out to almost an hour. Look at that, not bad, huh?
Awesome.
Not bad at all.
For
Not
those
bad at
catching
all.
us on the rewind, the audio podcast version of this will be up on Friday. So make sure you check out, just search Lords of Long Box on iTunes, Stitcher, or Spotify. I just added, and actually on Spotify, I have all our shows going back to August 2018. That's when I started archiving my videos to audio podcasts. And I would tell all you YouTubers, back up, and it's easy on StreamYard because StreamYard gives you an option to, after your stream is done, you can download the audio only. And I highly suggest you put it somewhere just in case your channel gets taken down by like mine did, and then you at least have a audio archive of all of the shows that you've done. I mean, obviously you don't need to do an audio podcast about Comic Hall because I don't know, you know, but
Unless
if
you
do a
want to
sh-
really describe it.
yeah, if you do any live shows or anything, you know, just a good way to have because my channel is deleted and I don't have access to any of my videos, even though it's my intellectual property. So big thank you to YouTube and let me shout out YouTube and Donnie Cates. There you go for taking the channel down.
There you go.
Appreciate
All
guys.
right.
Come
We
back,
were
come
canceled
back,
before canceling was cool.
I was, yeah. So all right, so that's it, boys and girls. Any last words, JB?
Oh, you know, just make sure that you hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you don't miss the next time that we go on every Thursday. This is a great show. And, you know, swing by the channel. I'll drop the link in the live chat. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, check me out on YouTube. Discovery Bay Comics. Appreciate you. Thanks.
Otto, as he wipes the boogers out of his eyes.
I
Last
hate
words?
OBS, JB. I learned it's oh my god. Where you guys don't know that's JB utilizing his OBS skills.
Yeah,
for
you know,
me,
it
I-
really. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I got nothing to say, but go over to 3 Men in the Basement, subscribe, get over to our 2,500 subscriber giveaway. Appreciate you talking comics tonight, man. I had a blast. Good to see everybody in the live chat. That's all I got. Simple.
Dark Side Jedi. What are
I
you
was just
selling
saying.
tomorrow?
I've got some Star Wars. I got some Silver Age. I got some Batman. I got a bunch of everything. I
All
will
right.
be. I'm a one-man show.
You are, because I won't be on. I'm just kidding. And here, I may be selling some of these.
Ooh.
Some of that. Oh, did I tell you? Yeah, I have 2 copies of this. So,
Is there any early bins on those?
so
No?
yeah,
Oh,
I don't
my
know.
goodness.
$900 for a raw copy or slab them. We shall see. Maybe one, but for sure, we'll be going live at 6 p.m. Pacific tomorrow for the Lord's auction and claim sale. Good for a good 2 hours. So hang out with us if you can. So we'll see you Friday, man. So take your vitamins, stay up late, save those ducats, and you know,
Come ready to.
we should
bid
have
on some
waited till
books.
people get their tax return. You know, we're gonna do another one. Right when,
I'm, trust me. Hang on a second.
until you guys realize that you got taxed on your stimulus checks.
I'm ready to sell some books.
God,
Hey, hold on, let's just show Ryan's madness that he lives
highlight
in.
that guy, man.
I'm
Oh
ready
my
to sell some
God,
books.
Ryan.
Okay.
God, you
Holy dude.
need an intervention, bro.
I
You
do need
your
an
own
intervention.
episode
I
of
need to be on
Hoarders.
Hoarders.
Yeah, well, it's a fine
You're
line
gonna
there,
be on
buddy.
Hoarders.
This
We
looks
all
like
have
a-
this
like
mess,
a-
though. Come on, man.
like
You're
some
just
type
the-
of
you're just
crazy
the only one
hostage
brave enough
captive
to
video
share it
that we
right
just
now.
saw.
I'm ready to sell some books.
All right, boys and girls, thank you for
Nice.
hanging out with us. We will see you tomorrow for the Lord's auction at 6 p.m. Pacific. Till next time, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
Now let's do this. Rewind, select and come again. Pull up that from the top to the very last. Jump.
Who are you to make their lives bitter in hard bondage? In this you shall know that the Lord is upstate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do it! We're here. We're back.
Let's do a job.
You can't get fresher than this.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 5 greatest heroes. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
When it comes, I won't even notice. Oh, how so? I'll be too